Hey folks, Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. This is Rapid Fire episode 24. I'm going to talk about a few things that are on my mind, mainly WWE related, but first, one Impact Wrestling, Global Force Wrestling, whatever, Global Force Impact is what I'll just call it for now. But Alberto El Patron, after Slammiversary, slammed all the WWE talent saying they were pussies. Okay. Apparently he just wants to be like that jilted ex that is still mad that his that a breakup didn't go his way. I mean, if he's happy where he's at in Global Force Wrestling and all that, why keep talking about WWE? Is it because your girlfriend, fiance, whatever, Paige is still there? Dude, grow up. I mean, he's 40, he's not going to watch this, 40 years old. Grow up, be happy where you're at. You're not going to have a lot of years left in wrestling. Be happy where you're at. Focus on your role there and make that brand grow. It didn't work out for you in WWE the first time, and it was stupid how he got released. But guess what? The second time, that was on him. I don't care if WWE promised him a bunch of stuff and then reneged on it. He still got paid a hell of a lot of money. And he didn't have to work nearly as hard of a schedule, apparently. So maybe he needs to stop being an ungrateful little bitch and just move on. Seriously, move on from that. Be happy that some other company wanted to take you, because he's apparently has a very, very, very high ego and, bad attitude if he doesn't get his way. So maybe he should quit being a spoiled little brat. And I'm a fan of the guy. The guy's got tremendous in-ring talent. Has been talented for years. Was underutilized in WWE. Even Punk doesn't whine this much. He's moved on, seemingly. Even Ryback doesn't whine this much. And Ryback, whines a lot on social media and in interviews. I mean, I think he has to be asked if that's his, what happened before he'll answer anything. But seriously, El Patron's just becoming a little bitch. Now moving on to the WWE news. AJ Styles won the U.S. title at the WWE Madison Square Garden House show. That's cool. Adds a little more spice to the feud. I would have had him win at a Battleground, but I get why they did it at a house show. Like when Joe beat Balor at the NXT house show, I believe in Lowell, Massachusetts, last year. And that was really, really cool. And I apologize for my throat, by the way. Have some bad allergies. But AJ winning this, it extends the feud. I think you could have him retain at Battleground and then win it at, and then, maybe Owens could win it back at SummerSlam. But it just seems a little weird. I hope that Owens, A, wasn't really severely injured or didn't violate the wellness policy. Can't imagine he would. But also, it kind of undercuts his whole Face of America DVD that he just did. The Kevin Owens story. And, alright, I think that there's more legs to this feud. I think it could go through to SummerSlam. It's a cool title change. I can see why some people don't like it, but it's kind of cool. Now, Dixie Carter's going to appear on the WWE Network special, WWE 24, about Kurt Angle. Makes sense. Kurt spent a lot of years in Impact Wrestling. TNA, Impact Wrestling, all that. Spent a lot of years there. And Dixie, dealt with him and took care of him. Did do a pretty good job with him. Didn't do such a good job with guys like Jesse Sorensen, but that's another story. Seriously, I'm happy that WWE's at least acknowledging this whole thing and having somebody from Impact Wrestling they can lend, even if it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes worth of interview pieces, spliced throughout the thing. It'll be really cool. Because, and this is honestly the truth, you can't ignore what other people did in other companies. You can mention it. I mean, even if you can't use the footage, even if you can't come to an agreement with Anthem or whoever owns footage, even if you can't come to that, you can't ignore the fact that Impact Wrestling exists. Impact Global Force Wrestling. Or it's like, like now they're acknowledging what people did in their Ring of Honor careers, which is about time because that was long overdue. So I'm okay. I mean, first off, Dixie doesn't know shit about the wrestling business at all. She comes across as a deer in the headlights more than Jim Crockett Jr. did. But at least She can provide a perspective on another aspect, a big aspect of Kurt Angle's career. So I'm all for that. Now to the big news. Austin Aries asked for his WWE release. I'm disappointed. I'm not disappointed in Aries. It's his life. He can do what he wants. I know he's almost 40. He wasn't, if you believe the reports, whatever reports, it depends on which one. He either was unhappy with his role as just being a cruiserweight, which I agree, the guy has money as a performer in general, and should have, if he was even injured, they should have put him at least back on commentary so he could have been entertaining. Maybe he didn't want to do that. He might have been unsatisfied. That's fine. He was in WWE for, what, like over a year? About a year and a half. Something like that. Or close to it. I don't blame him if he wanted to leave. I hope he doesn't go back to Impact. There's no reason for him to go back there. But he should go where he wants to go. If he wants to go to Ring of Honor, go back to Ring of Honor, fine. I think New Japan Pro Wrestling would be perfect. If he's injured and he needs to retire, then okay, all the best. I'm a fan of Austin Aries. I was a fan of Austin Aries when he was in Ring of Honor, when he showed up in Impact his first time, and then they made him Austin Starr, and that was stupid. And his time, in Impact, TNA Impact Wrestling, especially his time when he beat Rude for the TNA title, for the, TNA World Championship, that was really good. That was a damn good match. Should have gotten more mileage out of his, out of his reign, but whatever. It's Aries' career, it's his life, he can do what he wants. WWE fucked up big time, though, by not using him better. Fucked up big time. This is a blow to the cruiserweights. Because, Neville's doing a great job carrying it, and you have some really good talent, but Aries could have been an anchor for them. Aries could have been somebody that really could have worked well, and you could have and should have moved him up to at least an IC title feud. You're telling me that Aries and The Miz couldn't have had a great promo battle and couldn't have done great work with the IC title? Now, who knows? He could come back in a few months. He'd come back sometime next year. Maybe they could come to another agreement and he could be back by the Rumble. Wherever he goes, as long as he's happy, that's cool. He's almost 40 years old. He doesn't have a lot of years left in the business. I would hope that whenever he decides to hang up his wrestling boots, maybe WWE and him can come to an agreement and he can be on commentary. Because his commentary was brilliant on 205 Live. Absolutely brilliant. And he's a great talker. He's a great wrestler. Wherever he goes, he'll be happy. WWE did fuck up, though. This is a blow to them. It's not like the wheels aren't going to keep turning and the company ain't going to do fine, but the 205 Live brand is struggling as it is, and that could be part of the presentation and everything. Aries was a good part of it, but if you didn't want to be part of that and they didn't want to move him up, well, that's a mistake on them to not see the potential in Austin Aries. So that's a major fuck up by them. I will support him wherever he goes. I hope it's New Japan or Ring of Honor. But if he wants to go to Impact Global Force Wrestling, good for him. If he wants to retire, cool. Aries has had a hell of a career. If he can go on and have a few more years, great. But the bottom line is, folks, that's really it. WWE fucked up big time. Austin Aries, wish him the best. Still a fan. Always going to be a fan. The guy's great. The guy's tremendous. Hopefully his girlfriend, Tia Trinidad, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I always tend to screw up some names. Hopefully this doesn't affect her role in the company, and hopefully she can have a good role, because good for her. She has earned it. Maybe Aries can come back in the WWE fold, but wherever he goes, I hope he's happy, and I'll still support him. So that's a lot of stuff to cover, folks. But anyway, that's what I gotta say. So do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, share, comment, subscribe. My Twitter link is in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritland. I'm John Ritland, and I'll see you soon.